What's up guys, I'm Britt with PrecisionLED.com, and here we have a 2019 Toyota Tundra we're going to be performing an LED headlight installation on. Now the 2019 is part of the third generation Tundra, so this installation will be compatible with all years 2014 to present. Now today we're going to be installing a premium quantum H4 LED kit from PrecisionLED. Now the H4 is a dual beam headlight bulb, so this installation will be upgrading both your high and your low beams to LED. Now all of our LED bulbs are designed with a copper core for superior heat dissipation. All right, so let's get started. So we're gonna start by removing this front grille. It's actually pretty simple to remove. We're just gonna have to remove these 4 10mm bolts along with these 2 outside clips. And so we're just gonna be doing that with a 10mm socket and a power drill. And now that we have those removed, we're going to be removing these 2 outside clips just with a flathead screwdriver. And now with the clips and the bolts removed, you just want to pull the grille outward. And so now that we have the top clips removed, you can see the grille is hanging a little bit. And next, you're just gonna wanna grip the bottom of the grille, just like that. You wanna give it a good yank. Do the same thing to the opposite end. Now this truck, it comes with an accessory light to light up the logo. So we're just gonna disconnect that power cable right here. And you do so just by prying down on this tab and then just pulling away. And the entire grille comes off. And next we're just gonna be removing this bumper panel right here. And we're gonna do so just by removing these 2 clips, again with a flathead screwdriver. So now that we have those 2 clips removed, you can just go ahead, grip the panel and just peel it away. And we're actually, we're releasing a couple more clips that are just right up here as we're peeling this away. And you can see that right here, these ridges are what's holding the remainder of the panel into place. And next we're gonna be removing the headlight housing away from the vehicle. And you could do so just by removing these 3 10mm bolts. And we're going to be doing that with a 10mm socket and a power drill. So now that we have the bolts out, we could just lift up these brackets in order to release the housing. If you're having trouble lifting up these brackets, you could just use a trim tool or a flathead screwdriver. Just want to pry it from underneath. Just like that. Now that the brackets are released, you can just go ahead and grab the housing and just pull it outward. And I'm just going to take a small towel and place it just right here onto the frame, just so that we could rest the housing on it and not scratch the face. Just like that. And now we have access to the bulb. So we're gonna first just remove this power cable here, and you can do that just by pulling it directly back. And next we're gonna remove the dust cover, so you just wanna peel back on one of these tabs. And we can remove the halogen bulb just by pressing down on this wire clamp and just swivel away, just like that. And then just pull the bulb out. So here we have our H4 LED bulb. Now this bulb, this is a dual beam LED bulb, so this is gonna upgrade both the high and the low beams to LED. So the base of this H4 bulb, it actually swivels off and disconnects from the remainder of the bulb. So you just want to twist this counterclockwise and then just pull it out. And we're first just going to install this into the socket. And then after that's installed, we can place the dust cover over and install the remainder of the bulb. So let's just go ahead, let's get this in. just line up the tabs accordingly. And now we can lock it into place by pressing down on the wire clamp and just swivel that back in. And now we'll just reinstall the dust cover here. So just gonna wanna place that over the LED bulb. So you just wanna be sure that the inside of the rubber grommet is on the outer ridge of the H4 housing that's installed in there. And that'll allow you to install the LED. Now the LED has these little tabs on each end. So we're gonna have to line those up into the housing. And then once those are lined up, you can just twist the bulb clockwise until it locks into place. And next, let's connect the H4 power cable into the stock harness. And now we could test the lights to make sure everything's working. Now just be sure to test the high beams as well, so everything looks good. And now we're just gonna tidy up this wiring with a couple zip ties that are included inside of the kit. And we're just making sure that this ballast, that while you drive, it doesn't rattle around. And then we'll just cut off the excess zip tie with a pair of wire cutters. So now let's just go ahead and reinstall the headlight housing. Just note this bracket right here, you're gonna wanna rest the headlight housing on top of the bracket before actually sliding the bracket into place. So let's go ahead, we're gonna do that. You're gonna line up these brackets accordingly to the hole. You're gonna wanna apply a little bit of pressure on this bracket in order to get that to lock into place. So now let's just go ahead and install these 10mm bolts. You're gonna wanna make sure that the silver bolt is being installed on the side of the vehicle, and the 2 black bolts, these will be installed on the inside of the engine bay. And now we can install the bumper plate. We're first just gonna wanna line up these ridges here towards the outside of the vehicle. Make sure that these holes are in line as well. And then apply some pressure on these clips in order to get them to lock into place. So now we can go ahead and install the push pins. Now, when you're installing the pins, you're just gonna wanna install them just like that with the center out a little bit. And once you install the pin, then you could press down on the center in order to lock it into place. Just like that. Just press down on the center. And lastly, we could just get this grill installed. So when you're installing this grill, you're just gonna wanna make sure that you install this guide pin right here into the slot, and the same thing goes for the opposite side. But before doing that, let's just remember to reconnect this power cable for the logo light. We'll get those guide pins in place. And once everything is all lined up, you could just go ahead, give it some pressure so that all the clips lock into place. And now let's install these 4 bolts. And lastly, don't forget to install these push pins. Same way that you installed the push pin down here. Just install it with the center out a little bit, put it in, Press down on the center in order to lock it into place. Same thing over here. And you're all set.
And that's the end of the installation. If you have any questions or concerns, please email us at help@precisionled.com, or you can reach us online and submit a support ticket at www.precisionled.com/contact. Now, like we said before, please like or subscribe if you enjoyed the video or enjoyed the process for what we do. It really does help us out when we make the next one, knowing that there's people out there watching the videos. Have a good one.